Monster Core 2 isn't just a bestiary update, it's a declaration. Pathfinder's remaster era isn't just about recycling old monsters, it's about reinventing what a monster can be. Yes, the classics are still here, you have your trolls, your demons, and your dungeon fodder, but between those familiar stat blocks, Paizo slipped in some entirely new horrors, myths, curiosities, and cute creatures. Creatures that have never walked, crawled, or polymorphed their way through any Pathfinder book before. And today, we're spotlighting 10 of them. 10 brand new monsters born in Monster Core 2. No reprints, no conversions, just fresh nightmare fuel straight from the forge. So before we start, quick criteria check. Every creature on this list is completely original to the Pathfinder remaster line. No returning stat blocks from older bestiaries. If it didn't exist before Monster Core 2, it's fair game. Now, please note that I did do my best to ensure that this is accurate, but if any of these have appeared before, I'd love to know down in the comments which book they're from. We're going to be reviewing them by level from lower tier curiosities to death presenting encounters. So grab your initiative dice because we're diving in. We start small but sneaky. The Tanuki village hero is Pathfinder's most charming new troublemaker, a raccoon dog adventurer who fights dirty, drinks heartily, and runs away strategically. Because yes, their reaction ability is literally called Tactical Retreat, where they immediately flee the moment they take damage. Mechanically, it's brilliant. The Tanuki's defining move is Trickery Throw, where they hurl a dart, and if it hits, they transform into the dart itself, teleport to the enemy, and immediately follow up with a melee strike. If they miss, they flop to the floor in embarrassment. If they hit, they just become a living punchline with a comma. For GMs, they're perfect for teaching new players that fleeing isn't cowardice, it's comedy. Use them as pranksters, bandits, or even folk heroes defending a village with trickery instead of brute force. Think of them as if a goblin rogue and a Looney Tunes character shared one nervous system, and both are running late to lunch. Next, the Spark Moth, proof that not every monster needs teeth to terrify. This tiny air elemental zips through the air like a glowing shard of lightning, and its signature move, Arc Lightning, lets it transform into pure electricity, arcing to any metal object within 100 feet. If that object happens to be your fighter's full plate armor, congratulations, your tank just became a Tesla coil. It's fast, unpredictable, and perfect for low-level encounters where movement and positioning actually matter. From a GM's perspective, the Spark Moth forces players to ask the question, wait, what exactly counts as metal? Right before it answers, basically everything. And if you want to make it memorable, throw a swarm of them into a stormy night. Flickering lights, crackling thunder, and watch your party slowly realize that the lightning is aiming back at them. The Kuribu looks like an angelic cherub, but fights like a holy assassin. Stationed as divine guardians, they disguise themselves as stone statues, unmoving until a trespasser enters range. Then, they fire a radiant arrow from stillness, pinning their target to the floor. Their blessed aspect ability transforms them into one of 3 divine forms. An eagle unleashing a 15-foot cone of sonic shriek that disorients and stuns, a lion mauling with bleeding jaws, or an ox charging headlong to crush intruders under their divine weight. Basically, this is what happens when a cathedral security system gets sanctified. They're an incredible encounter seed for a ruined temple, forgotten shrine, or divine trial, especially if multiple Kuribu activate into different aspects at once. Imagine your party sneaking through a courtyard full of statues, and then the statues of the angels start moving. Yeah, that's the moment. Now, for something closer to home, or rather, closer to the swamp, the Tripkee Rain-Caller expands Pathfinder's lore for the frog folk we met as a player ancestry back in Player Core 2. They're small, amphibious humanoids attuned to primal storms, part Charmin, part weather pattern. This particular Tripkee can summon water elementals, cast hydraulic push to blast enemies off their feet, and call down Tempestuous Surge to fry anyone dumb enough to wield metal in their reign. And thanks to Jungle Passage, they get to ignore difficult terrain in forests, slipping through roots and vines like they're walking through open air. As an encounter, these are the perfect weather boss for a tropical arc, the kind of enemy that floods a battlefield, extinguishes torches, and turns the fight into a full-blown survival event. And thematically, they're the spiritual cousins of the original Tripkee Witch build we did all the way back in Codex entry number 1. So, naturally, I'm a little biased towards these guys. So you know that one group argument that just never seems to end? Well, Paizo turned it into a monster. The Gobmob Snake is a goblin mutant with multiple heads, all of which who just hate each other. It consistently emits an aura called incessant yammering, a 15-foot bubble of auditory chaos that gives everyone inside a -1 penalty to perception and will saves. Because apparently, mental health damage is also a type of damage. Whenever it critically fails to attack, it will literally stop to argue with itself, becoming slowed 1 as its heads fight over whose fault they missed. And if your players are clever, they can exploit that weakness with a deception check to provoke an argument on purpose. That's right, if you're clever enough, you can talk this monster to death. It's the first enemy I've seen that loses a turn to petty drama. This thing is chaos incarnate. It's loud, fast, and absolutely perfect for comedic encounters that turn lethal when you least expect it. When soldiers die, but the war refuses to end, something like the War Wraith is born. This incorporeal undead radiates a draining presence, sapping vitality from every living creature within 10 feet of it. In its signature move, Absorb Wraith lets it consume lesser wraiths, pulling them in as a line of void energy that damages everything between them. Once absorbed, it becomes quickened. It's faster, hungrier, and even more dangerous. The War Wraith also inflicts Void's Embrace, a slow burn curse that dazzles, blinds, and eventually kills the victim, turning them into another Wraith bound under its command. This isn't just a boss fight, it's an apocalypse on a timer. Use it in campaigns about ancient battlefields, cursed relics, or nations haunted by their own history. Every round that passes, another soldier rises to its side. Next up, we hit the multiverse. The adult phase dragon is Pathfinder's answer to, what if teleportation were a personality flaw? It's an arcane dragon that doesn't just fly, it phases. Its dislocating breath deals 12d6 force damage and teleports everyone it hits up to 40 feet away. Its claws strike through miniature portals. It dodges through space with phase jump, and it has constant access to teleport and translocate spells. If you love cinematic boss fights, this is the one for you. Your battlefield is going to look like Swiss cheese by the time it's all over. Mechanically, it rewards intelligent play and punishes static positioning. Your fighter can't just tank a dragon that refuses to exist in the same room twice. It's weird, it's wild, and it's one of the most creative dragons Paizo's ever made. Now this next thing, this is Fey horror at its finest. The Ozthoom is a massive winged Fey that doesn't just live in darkness, it duplicates within it. Its Shadow Double's ability lets it create multiple fully functioning copies of itself, each capable of attacking, but slightly weaker and temporary. To the party though, it's a nightmare. You don't know which one is real until it's too late, and every miss makes you feel like it's just laughing at you. Picture it. A twilight battlefield, wings cutting through the mist, and 3 identical creatures circling overhead. One real, 2 reflections, and 1 GM is smiling just a little too much. The Ozthoom's combination of speed, deception, and bleed damage makes it both cinematic and deadly. If you need a Fey Lord, a Dream Tyrant, or a little shadow of yourself, this is your monster. Beauty and death, all in one strike. The Sakugami is a divine kami of flowering trees. Guardians that embody the full cycle of life, from bud to bloom to decay. Mechanically, they're pretty terrifying. Each staff strike unleashes fleeting blossoms, dealing extra mental, void, and vitality damage depending on who they're hitting. Their curse, Touch of Ages, twists time itself, aging foes to weakness or reverting them to childlike fragility in moments. And when pressed, they can invoke Sakugami's Foresight, forcing either themselves or their enemies to roll twice, taking the worst result. Their divine balance in motion, literally the embodiment of impertinence, perfect for campaigns about nature, time, or the fallout of divine wars. And honestly, it's just beautiful design. Deadly, yes, but very poetic. Topping this list is a monster that shouldn't even exist. A walking contradiction of form and function. The Thousand Thieves is a swarm of countless vermin that somehow moves, thinks, and fights like a single criminal mastermind. Picture a living cloud of crawling insects, each carrying a fragment of a dagger, a lockpick, or a thought, all working in eerie unison. Mechanically, it's a powerhouse. It wields its own +2 greater striking dagger, has reflex at a +31, and can shift between humanoid and swarm form with its swarm getaway ability, slipping through cracks, climbing walls, and recoalescing instantly, still armed and ready to strike. Speaking of its strikes, they inflict clinging remnants, dealing persistent, piercing damage, and its poison, Liquid Delirium, doesn't just hurt, it confuses. Victims stagger, become stupefied, fascinated by random objects, and can even collapse into delirium as the toxin spreads. It's not stealing your identity, it's just watching you lose it. The Thousand Thieves is the perfect encounter for heist campaigns, criminal underworld arcs, or any story where paranoia and precision are weapons. Its underworld lore with a +30 and thievery at a +32 means it doesn't just kill you, it outsmarts you, disarms your traps, and escapes through the tiniest gaps before anyone even realizes it was there. It's Pathfinder's ultimate rogue encounter, fast, methodical, and terrifyingly efficient. A single thief is scary. 1,000 thieves moving as one? That's a nightmare you can't just sneak past. And there you have it. 10 monsters brand new to Pathfinder 2e, each one showing off the creativity that makes this system thrive. From lightning bugs to living kami, Monster Core 2 isn't just another bestiary. It's a toolbox for stories we haven't told yet. Which one of these are you most excited for to use in your next campaign? The Divine Guardian, the Teleporting Dragon, or the Swarm that's just as likely to steal your life as it is your jewelry? Let me know down in the comments, and if you want me to break down these new monsters by type, say the best Fae in Monster Core 2, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell. I'm Nicholas, your virtual GM, and remember, control the dice, alt the meta, and build the legend.